Hi guys, so today we're going to be doing a tamborine, Pewdiepie style. He's another YouTuber I frequently watch. We're going to be doing this one in charcoal. We're going to be using charcoal sticks. The thing with charcoal sticks is they're a lighter, more calmer version of charcoal. Charcoal, you get that pure black and deep value, whereas charcoal sticks, you usually get a gray. In this one, we're going to be using a clean paper towel to start off with, and we're going to fold it to make a point so that it's easier to work with, and it's firmer so that you can really blend easily without having to really do anything. Something I will say is this also creates a type of scratching noise sometimes, but it does work much easier, and it's much easier to get the material onto the paper. But there is a scratching noise involved, so if you do have sound sensitivity, please be warned. This is also another messy project, I guess. So if you're not used to mess, if you don't like it, this is not the project for you. Charcoal is very messy in on itself. And you don't have to be neat with the charcoal sticks. They're also called vine sticks, depending on the stuff you use. I'm sorry, Bagheera, my cat is trying to mess with me still. Maybe one of these times I'll show you me drawing Bagheera, or I'll give you a look at him. But yeah, basically, you just gotta work with the paper. Again, very messy, so it's very easy to get the material on yourself and your clothes. Please don't wipe it off on your clothes. I know it's very hard not to just like wipe it on your pants or something, but it does easily transfer to your clothes, and I learned this the hard way. It doesn't always come up off of your clothes. Well, actually, it depends on what charcoal you use. I was using this one charcoal that when you got it wet, it basically turned into this inky type substance, and it was just a mess to try and get off of my hands, and I made the mistake of wearing white pants. So please be mindful of like having a paper towel or whatever nearby that you can at least wipe your hands with. Just please don't try to clean off your hands on your pants. What's happening is I'm currently trying to blend it out. Again, there is going to be a scratching noise. It's completely normal, and if it does bother you, I would suggest you do a different medium, whether that be pencil or paint or something. But with charcoal, you have to expect quite a bit of scratching and what can be deduced as a irritating sound. Please make sure you are very careful with where you put the charcoal. It's very easy to add more charcoal to an area. It's very hard to get that charcoal up off the area and lighten it back up. So if you want something to have a deeper value, you can just put more charcoal on there. or a darker value charcoal or a softer charcoal. If you want to lighten it up, you're going to have to try and blend it out, or you are going to have to try and take whether it be a kneaded eraser or just a regular eraser, and try to do it that way. This is why you tend to do the softer charcoals, and I would advise against going the hard charcoal route, because hard charcoals are more likely to indent the paper. And once you get an indent, it's practically impossible for you to get a clean blend across, because there's going to be that line appearing through the paper. So yeah, basically it's me just blending out to create a shadow effect here. Always put the charcoals back in the paper or wherever they're from when you're not using it to keep them nice, because it's very easy to break charcoal. And once you break the charcoal, it's sometimes easier to work with, it's sometimes harder to work with. It really depends on the charcoal you're using. These are the different graphite sticks I'm going to be using. Yes, I said graphite sticks. They are literally sticks of graphite, kind of like charcoal sticks. This is the softest one. And the reason why I'm using graphite sticks, or blocks, is because I want to show you the difference between the vine and the charcoal, or the graphite and the charcoal. So that's what graphite looks like on the paper. These are the charcoal blocks or sticks, and these are the actual like dark charcoal. Personally, I think it's very easily to see the difference between the graphite sticks and the charcoal. The charcoal is much more darker, and it's also presenting a pure, almost color for the background that is very easily coming across. It also goes on smoothly, as you can see, whereas the way I was trying to do the graphite sticks, it does not go on as smoothly. Again, charcoal is very easy to work with if you know how to do it, but it can also be very irritating to work with because of how messy it can get, and because of the sounds I honestly find it making quite a bit of at the time. This is sometimes very hard to deal with, but I do try to make it work as best as possible. Please ignore the background music. Somebody in the house is watching I believe an action movie or something, and it's kind of able to be heard from where I'm sitting. I'm going to try and edit it so that it can't really be heard. But if you can hear it, I am sorry. Just me drawing, and then there being this action movie behind me. Excuse me, sir, can you not fight me? But yeah, as you can see, there is a strong difference between the charcoal and the vine charcoal. The vine charcoal being the lighter gray that we used on the bottom. This is producing a much richer black with a much deeper value, whereas the other was much lighter. It was much more gentle, and no matter how hard you get it, you can't get, well, you could, but it would cause an indent in the paper. But this is just lightly going over the charcoal and then getting that deeper value. And again, it's very messy, and it's very easy to blend. Something that I tend to do is blow on it to get any extra residue or what have you off of the paper. This makes it look much cleaner, in my opinion. And you can use the residue to basically put a lighter thing or a lighter shade onto whatever surface you want. So I'm using the residue that I got from the top part and the bottom part to create the not the canopy, but the top part of the tamborine. I'm going to be using a 2B pencil to try to make it more pronounced around the rim's edge for the tamborine. Now, not many people mix charcoal with graphite because there is such a difference in quality and also texture and look. I tend to mix it sometimes, but that's just me. The only reason I mix it is because I like to get that different quality. Because if you just do charcoal, you will get one value scale. But if you mix charcoal with fine charcoal, you get a separate value scale. And then if you mix charcoal with vine and graphite, you get a completely different variety of texture, feel, and just overall experience. So I try to use charcoal with graphite when I do charcoal drawings. do I'm sorry. That's just me though. You do not have to mix charcoal and graphite. It's literally what you're comfortable with. If there are fellow art people out there that are looking at this and saying, hey, this ain't right, that this drawing is garbage, please feel free to take this outline and try to do it towards something else. What are they watching in the other room? I'm sorry. But if you feel like it would be a better outline to use for like painting, please feel free to use it for painting. This is just a tutorial of me messing around with different mediums to show basically art basics. Hey, said the title. But again, it's whatever you're comfortable with. Please feel free to use this in whatever means you want. Now, I purposely broke the charcoal to try and get it more directly onto where I want it. You do not have to break the charcoal, like I said earlier. I just wanted to do it so that I could handle it better. Because I tend to have fat hands when it comes to charcoal. And I can't always get really in there with the charcoal. Now I'm going to try not to use charcoal pencils on this one because I want to show the difference between charcoal pencils and charcoal sticks. And again, if you notice residue on there that you don't want to accidentally smear or accidentally put somewhere where you don't want it, you can easily play it off as, oh, that's just part of the piece, that's just my own little thing, that's my own little interpretation of this, that's how I edited it. But if you don't want it there, feel free to just blow it off, because it's very easy. If you try to wipe it off, you will smear it. You try to dab it off, there's a good chance you might mark the paper with it. Whereas if you try to blow it off, you can just blow it off. It's most likely not going to mark the paper. Now, I'm not saying it definitely won't. Don't quote me on that. But I'm saying the chances of it marking the paper are significantly less. And what I'm showing here is you can get into tight spaces and so forth by using the edge of, if you have like an edge to your charcoal stick, you can use that edge to make it easier to show like sharp edges and so forth on the actual picture. You don't need a finely sharpened charcoal pencil. You can just use the edge of your charcoal block or stick or whatever you want to call it. You know what, let's just call it blocks for now. So I'm using the edge of this block to do the edges and to make a fine line. God, this is probably going to be a part of like something cringe. Oh, people are probably hearing me and just cringing. But oh well. The reason why I like charcoal is because you can do very simple moves with it and have it look somewhat real. Have it pop out easily. So long as you know the basic fundamentals for stuff popping out or making certain things like look 3D, which is the cast shadow, the backlight, and forefront, and basic shading on the actual object, you can determine where to put the, you can make it look somewhat real. And this is the graphite block. I'm going to be using this to gently shade the wood to give it that different feel. I'm not going hard with the block. I'm actually doing this very gently. Do you see the difference between the charcoal and the graphite now that it's more easily pronounced? Now you can just leave it here like this with the graphite being easily shown and all the grains and so forth. I am most likely not going to do that, just because I don't always like with charcoal when I can see the lines, but that's just me. So when I do mix charcoal with graphite, I tend to blend it all. Because why not? Let's just blend it. Go and take my paper, go around it up, and again, there is going to be a scratching sound. I am very sorry. I am trying to warn you as much as possible. So if you are sound sensitive, please, please, please be aware of this. Get earbuds. Get earbuds when doing this so that it doesn't bother your ears. Because it does bother mine sometimes, and I will, like, pop earbuds in, but because I want to hear the sound so that I can more easily comment or talk about this, I do want to warn you guys. I'm just going to add a little bit more vine to the bottom here, so that the bottom is more easily pronounced. Vine, unfortunately, is very easy to rub off. It's very easy to make disappear. So if you want something to be dark and with vine charcoal, you have to add a lot of it. I'm going to be using a pencil again. I'm going to be actually going very hard on the tambourines, or the syllables, or the, what are they called? The little, what's the little, jingly things, jingle berries on the tambourine called? God, people are probably going to hate me for calling it tambourine things jingle berries. But, I mean, they jingle. They jingle, right? Anyway, if you know what they're called, please tell me. Feel free. Anyway, I'm going to be doing the bottom one slightly darker than the top. And then the top one, kind of lighter. Should I leave it like that? Nah. Yes? No. Yes. No. No, I think I'm going to blend it with something else. First I'm going to do a P though. Just doing the bro fist. Bro fist. Bro fist, bro fist, bro fist, bro fist, bro fist. Have you noticed that Pewdiepie's P only has 3 fingers on the hand? It's not anatomically sound. Something to watch out for is the charcoal dying or breaking in half, by the way. But yeah, I realized it only has 3 fingers because the thumb doesn't count as a finger. I don't care who says what. It does not count as a finger. I'm just going to minutely shade the vine into the fist itself. Man, I really hate working with vine because it's so easy to break vine. Like, it creates a nice value, but it's so easy to just snap it. So there's the Brofist. As you can very clearly see. Sorry if my arm's in the way. I'm trying to get charcoal out of the packaging. Always put the charcoal back in the packaging. I know the sound of the rustling is somewhat hard on certain ears, but to keep your workspace clean and to keep the charcoal nice and to keep it from breaking, you need to put the charcoal back into the packaging every single time you use it. This not only keeps the charcoal nice, but it keeps your workspace somewhat clean, and it keeps you organized. And that's the most important thing when doing pieces, is staying organized. Because if you try to like move certain things around, you're not always going to remember which you moved where. So let's say you needed something that requires a less darker value, and you need a harder charcoal. Let's say you moved the soft charcoal to where the hard was, and the hard to where the medium was. You would pick up the soft charcoal and then put it on there, and then you would be freaking out because it's doing something that you do not want it to do. You want it to be doing a lighter value, like here. So the soft charcoal did the very rich background. This is doing a much lighter lighter line. And you don't want to accidentally mix them up, because the minute you mix them up, your piece is basically done for. Or at least, that's happened to me enough times to the point where it's actually cost me like certain grades on pieces. Because I accidentally switched a charcoal and then did the wrong value in the wrong place, and I believe it was for a polar bear that I was doing a charcoal drawing of, and I accidentally did the deepest color in where it was supposed to be like the lightest value. And it completely ruined the piece. So please be careful where you put charcoal. But yeah, that's the video for you. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching Basically Art Basics. Please ignore my foot. Bye-bye.